Hi, Judy. Thank you so much for being here today. We loved your opening remarks here at the Medical Cannabis Conference with United Patients Group. I noticed that you were mentioning that there's been some recent legislation happening in Marin County that you've been really spearheading with regards to establishing medical cannabis dispensaries in the area.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I spoke at the United Patients Group last year, and at that time I said, we really are looking at establishing medical dispensary in Marin. My colleague Damon Conley and I were the board subcommittee working on drafting an ordinance that would permit medical marijuana dispensaries in Marin County, 4 of them, 2 down the 101 corridor and 2 in Central and West Marin. I have become convinced that this is a medical condition. I know how it's worked with cancer. I know how it's worked with MS. A beloved supervisor that was on the board that I served with, who had pancreatic cancer, used marijuana for nausea, but not for the medicine, and it's very good for that. And so I think that the Marin County Board of Supervisors wants to ensure that reputable people will come in to operate. We have special bonuses if you live in Marin. You get a notch up on being accepted, and we want to allow people of low income and vets to have access to this too. There's no doubt in our mind that this is not a beneficial thing that needs to be studied and practiced.
Right.
When they first come out with any medicine, you have to see how it works. You have to see the individual uses of it. And that's what we want to give people the opportunity to do in Marin. And if marijuana is legalized on this election that's coming up in November, that's fine. We're still glad that we have that is separate from medical cannabis. And so it's a two-pronged issue.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So do you see or do you feel that rescheduling cannabis from a Schedule I drug at the federal level to something like Schedule II, which would then be allowed to open up federal funding for research into the possibilities of the marijuana plant for medicinal purposes? Are you in agreement with that?
Absolutely. It was very startling to us that the Obama administration came down so hard on marijuana facilities and there was the first medical marijuana dispensary was in Marin County in Fairfax.
Interesting.
And the woman that ran it, when the Obama administration came into power, they shut her down. She went bankrupt and she wouldn't give up. She sued, and all of a sudden now the courts have ruled that they should not have done this, and now she's free to start another medical dispensary. But
Amazing.
It's very puzzling to me why that interest in that, or why that focus on that. But I think that's changed now, and I know the president has said we're not going to go after the medical. So.
Right. It is relaxing in many ways, and I think that we're now at 24 states in the United States that have legalized marijuana in one way or another for primarily for medicinal purposes.
Right.
But I think now 4 states have legalized it for recreational purposes. Obviously, as you mentioned, California is is up for a vote in November on that, and many feel that as California will go, the rest of the country will as well. Would you agree with that?
I'm not sure about the middle of America.
Right.
I'm from Kansas, and I actually think widespread across this country, people of all ages believe that this is way too strict for what they do, and they need to see the benefits. I didn't really look at it medically until I met Corinne and John Malanka, and we looked at what their program is. None of the medicine is for smoking. This is like tablets, spray, aerosol. Once you see that, how can you go back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we so appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
We've lent your help and support throughout the county of Marin, but also it has an impact really that is going to be felt across the state and across the United States. We really appreciate you being here,
Thank
Judy.
you very much.
Thank
Glad
you.
to be here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.